The alchemy of self-belief, transforming dreams into reality. Welcome to the BlackCEO Podcast, where we dive deep into the minds of visionaries who are reshaping our world. Today, we're in for a treat that will challenge your perspective and ignite your passion. I recently had the extraordinary privilege of interviewing Jeanine Jennings, a true luminary whose insights are revolutionizing our understanding of success and self-belief. Jeanine's impact on making the world a better place is nothing short of phenomenal. Her work has touched countless lives, inspiring individuals to break through their self-imposed limitations and reach for the stars. So buckle up, folks. We're about to embark on a journey that could very well change the trajectory of your life. Have you ever stood at the precipice of your dreams, heart racing, palms sweaty, teetering between exhilaration and terror? That moment when you're faced with the choice to leap into the unknown or retreat to the comfort of the familiar. It's a crossroads we've all faced, a moment that defines us, and it's precisely where our story begins. Imagine, if you will, standing at the edge of a cliff. Below you stretches the vast expanse of your potential, your dreams, your future. But between you and that future, a chasm that seems impossibly wide. What do? Do you turn back, convinced the leap is too great, or do you take a deep breath, summon every ounce of courage, and jump? This, my friends, is where Jeanine Jennings found herself. It's where her journey of transformation began. And it's where she discovered the most crucial lesson of all. Believe in yourself. Nothing happens overnight. But if you stay consistent and passionate, the results will come. Now, I know what you're thinking. Believe in yourself? Really? That's your groundbreaking insight? Bear with me here, because while it might sound like something you'd find on a motivational poster in a middle school guidance counselor's office, there's a depth to this wisdom that can quite literally change your life. Let's break it down, shall we? Belief in oneself. It sounds simple, doesn't it? Almost cliche. But here's the kicker. It's the foundation upon which all great achievements are built. And yet, it's often the hardest thing for us to do. Why is that? Why do we find it so difficult to believe in ourselves? Perhaps it's because we've been conditioned to doubt, to question, to compare ourselves to others and always come up short. We live in a world that seems to delight in telling us we're not good enough, not smart enough, not talented enough. But here's the truth bomb Jeanine dropped on me. That self-doubt, it's nothing but an illusion, a paper tiger that crumbles in the face of true self-belief. Think about it. Every great invention, every paradigm-shifting idea, every world-changing movement started with someone believing in themselves when no one else did. Thomas Edison didn't give up after 999 failed attempts at creating the light bulb. He believed in his vision. Martin Luther King Jr. didn't falter in the face of overwhelming opposition. He believed in his dream. And Jeanine, she believed in herself when the odds were stacked against her, when voices around her said it couldn't be done, when the path ahead seemed impossibly steep. She believed, and that belief became the fuel that propelled her forward. But here's where it gets interesting. Belief alone isn't enough. And this brings us to the second part of Jeanine's wisdom. Nothing happens overnight. We live in a world of instant gratification. We want success, and we want it now. We see the highlight reels of others' lives on social media and wonder why our journey seems so much slower, so much harder. But success isn't a microwave meal, folks. It's a slow-cooked feast, flavored with persistence, seasoned with setbacks, and ultimately delicious in its achievement. Jeanine's journey wasn't a sprint. It was a marathon with hurdles, detours, and moments where the finish line seemed to move further away instead of closer. But she kept running. She understood that true, lasting success is built brick by brick, day by day. Think about any skill you've mastered. Maybe it's playing an instrument or coding or perfecting that secret family recipe. Did you nail it on the first try? Of course not. You practiced, you failed, you got frustrated. You may have even thrown your guitar across the room or set off the smoke alarm a few times, but you kept at it. And slowly, almost imperceptibly at first, you got better. This is the secret sauce of success that Jeanine discovered. The understanding that growth and achievement aren't about dramatic leaps, but about consistent steps forward. It's about showing up every day, even when you don't feel like it, especially when you don't feel like it. But here's where it gets really juicy. Jeanine didn't just preach consistency, she lived it. And in doing so, she discovered something profound. Consistency, when coupled with passion, becomes an unstoppable force. This brings us to the third pillar of Jeanine's wisdom. If you stay consistent and passionate, the results will come. Passion, it's a word we throw around a lot, isn't it? Follow your passion, we're told. But what does that really mean? For Jeanine, passion wasn't just about doing what she loved. It was about loving what she did, even when it was hard, even when it was frustrating, even when it seemed like the results were nowhere in sight. Passion in this context isn't just a feeling, it's a choice, a commitment. It's the fire that keeps you going when the night is dark and the path is unclear. It's what makes consistency possible, even enjoyable. Think about it. Have you ever been so engrossed in a task that you lost track of time? That's passion at work. It's what turns work into play, obstacles into challenges, and setbacks into learning opportunities. Janine's passion wasn't just about the end goal. It was about the journey itself, the daily grind, the small victories, the lessons learned from failures. And this passion, combined with unwavering consistency, created a momentum that was simply unstoppable. Now, I know what you might be thinking. That's all well and good, but how do I apply this to my life? How do I cultivate this level of self belief, consistency, and passion? Great question. And the answer, my friends, lies in small daily actions. It's about creating habits that reinforce your self belief, that make consistency second nature, and that fan the flames of your passion. Start by challenging your self doubt. Every time that little voice in your head says, you can't, ask yourself, why not? Every time you're tempted to compare yourself to others, remind yourself of how far you've come. Make consistency a non negotiable part of your life. Set small, achievable daily goals. It could be as simple as writing 100 words, making one sales call, or practicing your craft for 15 minutes. The key is to do it every day, no matter what. And passion, cultivate it by connecting your daily actions to your bigger purpose. Remind yourself why you started this journey in the first place. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small. Find joy in the process, not just the outcome. Let me share a story that Jeanine told me, one that perfectly illustrates these principles in action. There was a young woman, let's call her Sarah, who dreamed of starting her own business. She had a brilliant idea for a sustainable fashion line, but she was paralyzed by self doubt. Who am I to think I can compete in the cutthroat world of fashion? She'd ask herself. But Sarah decided to take a leap of faith. She started small, designing one piece at a time in her spare hours after her day job. Some days she'd stare at her sketch pad for hours, feeling like a fraud, but she kept showing up day after day. Months passed and progress seemed painfully slow. There were nights when she wanted to give up, to chalk it up as a pipe dream, but something kept her going. The thrill she felt when a design came together perfectly, the pride in creating something sustainable and beautiful. 2 years in, Sarah had a small collection. She took another leap and showcased her work at a local fashion event. The response was overwhelming. People loved her designs, her vision, her passion for sustainability. Today, 5 years later, Sarah's brand is making waves in the fashion industry. She's been featured in major magazines, and her clothes are worn by celebrities who share her values. But here's the kicker. When asked about her overnight success, Sarah laughs. She knows the truth. It wasn't overnight at all. It was thousands of nights, each filled with belief, consistency, and passion. This story resonates because it's not just Sarah's story, it's Janine's story. And in many ways, it's all of our stories. It's the story of every person who's ever dared to dream, who's ever stood at the edge of that cliff and decided to take the leap. You see, what Jeanine discovered, and what I hope you'll take away from this talk, is that the gap between where you are and where you want to be isn't as wide as you think. It's bridged by belief, narrowed by consistency, and ultimately crossed by the wings of passion. So I want to challenge you. Starting today, believe in yourself fiercely. Be consistent relentlessly and let your passion burn so brightly that it lights the way, not just for you, but for others around you. Remember, you are capable of far more than you realize. Your potential is not determined by your circumstances, but by your belief in yourself and your willingness to show up day after day, fueled by passion and guided by purpose. Janine's journey shows us that when you combine self belief, consistency, and passion, magic happens, not overnight, but over time. And that magic is not just success, it's personal growth, it's resilience, it's the unshakable confidence that comes from knowing you can overcome any obstacle. Now, let me share another story that Jeanine told me, one that truly drives home the power of these principles. This is the story of Marcus, a high school dropout who believed he was destined for a life of mediocrity. Marcus grew up in a tough neighborhood where dreams were often seen as luxuries. He'd always had a knack for numbers, but school never clicked for him. He dropped out at 16, convinced he wasn't smart enough for success. For years, Marcus drifted from one dead end job to another, but there was always this nagging feeling, a voice whispering that he was meant for more. One day, while working as a janitor at a local community college, he overheard a programming class. The logical patterns of code sparked something in him. Against all odds, Marcus decided to believe in himself. He borrowed books from the library, watched online tutorials, and practiced coding every night after his shift. Progress was slow. There were nights when he stared at his ancient laptop, feeling overwhelmed and out of his depth, but he kept at it consistently, passionately. 2 years passed. Marcus had become proficient in several programming languages. He started freelancing, building websites for local businesses. His reputation grew. 5 years in, he landed a job at a tech startup. Today, 10 years after that fateful day in the college hallway, Marcus is a senior developer at a major tech company, leading teams and mentoring young coders from backgrounds similar to his own. Marcus's story is a testament to the power of self-belief, consistency, and passion. He didn't let his past define his future. He didn't let setbacks deter him. He believed in himself when no one else did, stayed consistent even when progress seemed slow, and let his passion for coding fuel his journey. These stories, Sarah's, Marcus's, Jeanine's, they're not anomalies. They're proof of what's possible when you embrace the principles we've discussed today. They show us that no dream is too big, no obstacle too great when you combine unwavering self-belief with relentless consistency and burning passion. So, as we wrap up this talk, I want to leave you with a question that I hope will echo in your mind long after you finish listening. A question that has the power to change the trajectory of your life if you let it. What would you attempt if you knew you couldn't fail? Think about that for a moment. Really let it sink in. What dreams would you pursue? What goals would you set? What actions would you take? Now, here's the real kicker. You can't fail. Not really. Because in the pursuit of your dreams, in the consistent effort, in the passionate dedication, you're already succeeding. You're growing, learning, evolving. You're becoming the person capable of achieving those dreams. So, my friends, as you go forth from here, I urge you to take Jeanine Jennings' wisdom to heart. Believe in yourself unconditionally. Be consistent in your efforts, knowing that every small step is taking you closer to your goals, and let your passion be the wind beneath your wings, lifting you higher than you ever thought possible. Remember, your journey is unique. Your path is your own. But the principles of success, self-belief, consistency, and passion, these are universal. And they've worked for Jeanine, they've worked for Sarah and Marcus, and they will work for you. I challenge you to start today, right now. Take one small step towards your dreams. Write down your goals, create a plan, and most importantly, commit to believing in yourself no matter what. Stand tall, dream big, work hard, stay passionate, and most importantly, believe in yourself, because when you do, you don't just change your own life, you inspire others to change theirs. You become a beacon of possibility in a world that desperately needs it. Your future self is watching you right now, cheering you on, believing in you. Don't let them down. Embrace your potential. Harness the power of self-belief, consistency, and passion. And watch as you transform not just your life, but the world around you. Remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Take that step today. Believe in yourself. Stay consistent. Let your passion guide you, and I promise you the results will come. Thank you.